Here for the Week 8 version of the Wayne State Locker Room Report with head football coach Paul Winters. Maybe as an emotional post-game as I've ever been a part of here at Wayne State. Just an emotional victory. What are your final thoughts about that Ashlynn game?
Obviously, we're extremely happy. It showed resiliency on our part that we haven't shown, I think, throughout the season. And we're happy about that. What we're not happy about is that we were up 35-7 and 35-14 in the fourth quarter, and it went in overtime. That should never happen. That ultimately we've got to get fixed.
I think it was on the Comcast broadcast. Kevin Breckmacher said, kind of right before Nicolo's PAT went through, he's like, this game has kind of been a choose-your-own adventure of a football game. How would you describe that game to someone who hasn't seen it or heard about how it ended?
Well, it's anytime you have over 1,000 yards of offense, it's a fun game to watch. It was a fun game. It was a fun game to coach and a frustrating game to coach. But if you want to go back and watch it on Comcast, you're going to enjoy the game.
There are so many big momentum-swinging plays. I mean, if you just take the first half, that's one big momentum swing towards Wayne State. What are two or three that really stuck with you on Sunday and Monday as you guys kind of digested that?
What stuck with me were two plays we didn't make that really, I think, more than anything else, made the game go into overtime. One was a third down run by King Sanders that he hit on the backside. If he hits it on the front side, follows his fullback and guard, he's going to get the first down. The other one we called a route that we had DeReese on the flag and tight end in the flat. Ultimately, one guy's got to cover one of the two.
Right.
They covered DeReese. We threw it to DeReese. The guy in the flat was wide open. So you just make the right choices. I think we can improve on that, and that can make us a better football team.
Such a head coach. There's so many great plays that you could have chose from, and you talk about the plays you didn't make. I like it. The defense has really been able to take the ball away this season, especially the last couple games and the last couple wins. Is there something you can really point to? I know we've talked about turnover circuits and that stuff that you guys work on, but really been able to impact games, taking the ball away from the other team.
Yeah, the turnover circuit's big.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's played a big part, but I think Leon, as a football player, he dropped those plays last year.
Yeah.
This year he's making those plays, so that's a big thing. But even the Ferris game, we had 3 turnovers, I think. So we just, we stress it. Our guys enjoy it. I don't think the offensive players enjoy it because it usually means they're getting their arms ripped, they're getting the ball stripped away from them. But it's all part of the work that you have to do.
We go on the road now for 2 games, probably fall into the category of winnable games. How do you every game's a winnable game. Every game's a losable game. I love it. A lot of coach talk. I like it. How do you prevent against an emotional letdown? Because Ashlynn, I mean, if that was like winning a national championship in terms of the emotion and celebration afterwards, just because of the roller coaster it was on. How do you coach against kind of a letdown against a Northwood team or a Davenport team?
Well, first of all, our players are much more resilient and much more, I wouldn't say level-headed, but they get back to the mean a lot easier than I think anyone else does.
Yeah.
We have the 24-hour rule, so we're past that. We're preparing for Northwood now, and we know that we got after them pretty good last year, and they're going to be very excited to play us. So we have to be prepared.
A lot of individual standouts, but maybe the one that stuck with me the most was redshirt freshman Julius Wilkerson making his first career start, filling in for a team leader and captain in Ryan Smith. 23 tackles, and it seemed like more. It was loud. Talk about his performance.
Sacks too.
Yep.
Julius Wilkerson, we've seen that from the day he walked in here. Able to redshirt him, which was good. He's just starting to get a feel for the game.
Yeah.
Obviously, the difference between he and Ryan Smith has been Ryan is a veteran and he knows how to play, and has done a fantastic job for us. But Julius stepped in, and now, he should break records for his career if he can do that in game one. But you know what? He's a great young man. He's a student athlete advisory committee guy. He's a leader. Absolutely does everything right. So when you do everything right in your life, you usually do everything right on the field. So he's a special player.
The throw in overtime by Jake Amrine. Did you think it was a good throw? It felt like it was a little bit of a flutter ball, kind of a pop-up, but it was perfect. It ended perfect, right?
Do I think it was perfect? It was a touchdown, right? It was perfect. We had called that play earlier, and the guy, I don't know if he got a hand on it, but DeReese didn't catch it.
Yeah.
And we knew it should be there. So we thought, hey, first down, they're going to think we're going to run it, so let's take a shot. And the ball perfectly went over the guy, because they had a safety there, and it was perfectly thrown over his head. And it's funny, you watch the tape from the end zone, he throws the ball way left, and I'm like, DeReese is never going to get there. And it was perfect.
And from the sideline, it looked like the Ashlynn guy was going to be able to knock it down. So just an incredible play. And then the PAT, freshmen all across the board on that play. Talk about that connection from freshman to freshman to freshman.
I called him over and I said, okay, we just go out and execute. Let's do our deal here. And I look at Lucas, and Lucas is snapping the ball, and he's just like, just calm as anybody I've ever seen. I'm like, oh, okay. And everybody just, Coach, we got it. It's not a problem. So you love that.
Northwood, they are winless, but they're always a tough team to play. A unique offense, hard-nosed. They're going to be at home. They kind of got some get back on their minds maybe a little bit. Talk about what Northwood does well.
Northwood has been, I think, better on offense this year than they've been in the past. Their quarterback's doing an outstanding job making good decisions, getting the ball, distributing it well. Every game that I've watched, they've had a lead. And a couple games, Ashlynn does their Ashlynn thing.
Yeah.
They come back and win it at the end. Hillsdale comes back, gets it in overtime, wins it at the end. They could very easily have a 500 record. So they're a good football team. You have to respect the job their coaches do and the athletes that they have, because a lot of those guys we recruited.
A couple keys to victory, Coach.
Northwood's a team that tries to control the football, so you got to get them to turn it over. You got to get them off the field, and offensively, eliminate those things that prevent us from scoring 50 points. Eliminate those mistakes that prevent us from being an elite offense.